Alright, ESO is kind of boring. Brian Wheeler ruined the game, and there's no 4v4v4 BGs anymore. But we have AV8s, not 4v4. Nobody cares about this. AV8's the only good one, even then it's only good half the time when it's not Ball Group versus Ball Group. But completely off topic, none of that even matters. Yeah, I made a BG build. A BG only build, really. I mean, I guess it kind of works. Like, if you're Zerging, the build will work. If you try to duel in this, most likely you're going to get rolled over. But it's fun to use. I'm sure there's like another variation of this that you can use that'll probably work better for duels and work better just in general. But I'm not using it. Okay? I wanted sets that not everybody's using. So, we'll just get straight into it. The CP, like I said, it doesn't really matter, but we're still going to go over it. We're still going to go over it. Fighting Finesse, Cleansing Revival, Master at Arms, Ironclad, Fortified, Stand by Suffering, Pain to Refuge, Survival Instincts. But the BG build, CP doesn't really matter unless you're going to use it open war, which, like I said, if you're Zerging or maybe even playing in a group, it'll work. Playing, like, trying to 1vx in it is just not going to work, though. Skills, we got Reviving Barrier. Yeah, Reviving Barrier is Reviving Barrier. It does what it does. You know what I mean? It does what it does. And I have nothing to say about it. Getting into skills, starting with our back bar ult, we got Barrier for the mag sustain. Never gonna really use this in BGs, to be honest. Healing Soul, obviously we got Restore Resources, Major Vitality, and the Burst Heal. Vigor, as always. Ellie Sus, because this is your Major Breach. We have Flare here for the Major Protection, because we have 3 offensive skill lines on right here, with the Blast Bones and this and this. Then we have on Shuffle, for, this gives you Major Evasion, so it makes you a little bit tankier. It doesn't really help you though, but it's really just for the snare immunity. And you know, this build could change a little. This build you could do, I'll go over it at the end how you can slightly change it and probably make it better. Then you come here, we got Incap. Obviously these are all, the reason I have Incap, Meteor works, Dawnbreaker, Crescent, Colossus, and basically any ult works here. I put Incap for the extra crit chance, because you have a lot of crit chance. Crushing Shock is your spammable. Degeneration, obviously, this is your Major Brutality buff, and it's a decent dot. Spec Bow, this is your weapon crit buff, or your major crit buff, and then obviously it does a bunch of damage and it's OP. Double Barrel Spec Bow. Javelin, this is our stun to control our burst, so we can line it up with our Blighted Blast Bones, which gives both major and minor defile. Basically, what you do is you'll summon your blast. Let me show you. Here, we'll go over the rotation right now. So basically, what you do is, like, after you hit him with everything, right? You summon this, you do this right here, and then, like, you'll just like, obviously there'll be some distance, so it won't blow up as fast. So then you can boom, and then you can spec bomb at the same time as your blast bomb. Boom, type stuff. So there's that. Obviously now if you don't have your, if you have your Incap, instead what you can do is when you buff up and you hit somebody, right? Summon this, and then you just bang, because that'll stun them, and you'll do a bunch of damage. So there's that. Character sheet. 14 points into Magicka, 10 points into health, 40 points into stamina. I got the Thief Mundus on for the absurd crit chance. We got 40% crit damage. This will be 32% in a BG. And yeah, Bear Haunch, Imperial, we're at Imperial. As you can see, base class Templar doesn't matter. It could be Necro, could be Nightblade, could be whatever one has the most skill points and stuff. Into the sets, we got Shattered Fate on the front bar. We got double dot poisons on our front bar, weapon damage, glyph, defending, ice staff, wretched on the back bar. This is sharpened, the shattered one. This is sharpened. This is defending on the back bar, wretched for your sustain, because you need sustain. Mighty Chuden, because we don't have a defensive line, so we have no way to get our major resolve, so we have to use Mighty Chuden here. But Mighty Chuden's actually pretty good. You know, if you buff up, you get 29k, 27k, and 30k in the BG, which is nice to have. Both of these are impen. Everything should be a tri-stack glyph, but it's not that big of a deal. We're in 5 medium, obviously, so we can run shuffle. Heavy reinforced trainee chest. And we are in 5 medium to heavy. Triple infused, as always, with weapon damage enchants. And then we got Markin, as always. That's all I use is Markin. Can also use Monomyth. Monomyth will probably work better for your damage. So, yeah. And to make this better, you know, you'd keep all the same skill lines. You'd replace, if you had Race Against Time, right, you'd put it on your front bar. You'd put it on your front bar, and you'd put Degeneration on your back bar, right? And you'll put Rally on the back bar, and then you'll put Wretched on the front bar, and you'll have Race Against Time on your front bar, so you can proc both the Wretched things. So that'll make you tankier with the Rally, and it'll give you the same sustain, and then you'll still get the 300 weapon and spell damage. And then if you throw on Monomyth, you should hit just as hard, and you should be all good. So that's what we got. Yes, people always ask me, will this work with this? Will this work with this? Honestly, you're in a BG, right? I think damage is probably slightly more important than really anything else in there, because a lot of time it's like group play. You know, you're never really like solo in a BG. So it ends up more of like kind of group play. So I feel like damage is just kind of better. So this will probably work better with a Khajiit. You'll do more damage. You know, a high elf will work. Even Orc. I think race is like one of the most irrelevant things. Obviously, you'll have to change a few things to kind of get it where you want it if you're using a different race. But overall, it's all kind of the same thing. So that's what we got for today. We just had a BG build. I'm going to show some BG clips, a little montage as always, and try to keep this like 10-minute long video. Peace. 笑顔の裏に何がある甘い声で嘘を吐く